Here are my people. According to an article by Joel Schwartz, published on July 31st, 1997, on Washington.edu, infants as young as 20 weeks old have the ability to analyze speech so well that they are able to produce 3 universal vowel sounds. Isn't that incredible? Most of you either have or will eventually communicate with infants sometime in your life, which is mainly what Parentese is used for, infants and developing their language. However, something you may not know is that you can even use it with your pets, and they love it. They'll wag their tails and they'll give you kisses. They eat it up. I am currently studying to be a speech-language pathologist, so I have taken many classes and read many books on speech and language. And one in particular topic that I enjoy a lot is learning about Parentese. And I find it very, very interesting. And I think it's something everyone should be aware of. Parentese is a specialized infant-directed speech which uses particular vocal characteristics to aid in language development of infants. It used to be referred to as motherese, as some thought only mothers could or should talk this way. However, that has since been kind of deleted from history in a sense, and now it's referred to as Parentese, because not only mothers speak this way, but fathers and grandparents and relatives and even older siblings. You'll find them talking to their younger siblings in this specialized infant-directed speech, which is known as Parentese. Today, I'm going to tell you about 2 main topics about Parentese. One is how you talk in Parentese, and another is some general benefits that come from speaking this special speech to your infants. Let's begin by looking at how adults, and like I said, even older children, change their voice and speech sounds from adult-directed to infant-directed. Parentese is thought to be a universal aspect of speech, which is super cool because if you're here in the US or you go to Japan or somewhere in Europe, you'll find parents and adults, whenever they come across an infant, they'll speak in this special way to children, and it's so fascinating. However, we tend not to be aware when we're doing this. It's not something that we typically control or have much influence on, but there are physiological changes that are happening in our bodies. Teresa Newmark published an article on July 14th, 2013, titled How to Speak with Your Baby, Learning Parentese, on childdevelopmentclub.com, which emphasizes 4 characteristics of Parentese. First, speaking in a sing-song melody with varied pitch and intonation makes it so easy and entertaining for the baby to follow and listen along to. Next, by raising your pitch, slowing your speech, and elongating the sounds, you are emphasizing special sounds and where we emphasize those in language, and they are picking up on those. Then, by stressing certain words, by increasing the pitch, the length, and intensity of the words, you are also doing this. So we don't say, I love you, to a baby. We say, I love you. We do special things with our sounds and our vocal cords that emphasize we're raising our pitch, we're getting excited. And finally, we use precise pronunciation, correct grammar, and extreme over-exaggerated facial expressions to really drive in that point. Because after all, we're teaching them language. We're not just talking to them. They're not just listening to our voices. They are learning the language. Luckily, though, these seem to be innate, even though they can be taught. They typically don't have to be, which is so fascinating and saves so much time that every time you talk to your baby, you're talking in this way that is going to benefit them in the long term. There's so much more to this baby talk than just changing the physical characteristics of your voice. And this now brings me to my second point. Many, many benefits come from speaking this way to your infants. According to Washington.edu, when we talk this way, we produce more distinct and more various vowel sounds, which they are learning and they're ingraining in their minds and in their development so that when they learn language, they can mimic these ways. In an article published on January 5th, 2012 by Jacqueline Chinapi on BrightHubEducation.com, it states that babies pay greater awareness to what we're saying when we're speaking this language and this speech. Because of the melody, it entices them and they want to hear what we're saying. By doing so, they are taking in the nature and the phonetic arrangement of their native language, which again prepares them for when they speak it. Another benefit from Washington.edu that we touched on earlier is that this doesn't have to be taught. It's universal. So children everywhere know when their parents or relatives or caregivers talk to them in this sense. They pay attention and they listen, and they're set up for when they start speaking. Now, let's go over what we have learned. We discussed the physiological changes that we involuntarily make in order to speak this infant-directed speech known as parentese. We also talked about the benefits parentese can have on infants and their language learning. I hope you have a new appreciation for parentese by realizing it is so much more than just baby talk, and are not so annoyed the next time you hear somebody talking to their infant in a way that you might think is degrading or hurting their development, because it's not. The next time you find yourself talking to an infant in parentese, you can rest assured that you are actually, in fact, helping them with their language development. Thank you.